All right, so here we are in our last and final video lecture for chapter number 4 on Rome. Let's wrap this up. So the Roman Empire comes to an end, right? 476 CE. The Roman Empire ends, sort of. So what happens? Before the Roman Empire comes to an end, there's attempts to save the empire. The empire had gotten so big that they decided that they're going to split it in half. The Western Roman Empire over here, right? Spain, France, Germany, Italy, right? This is the Western Roman Empire, Britain. And then the Eastern Roman Empire will be, the Middle East, Turkey, Greece, Egypt. So you have the Western side, the Eastern side. So what happens? The idea was that you have two different emperors, right? One emperor would rule the West, one emperor would rule the East. And the new capital of the Eastern Empire is this one, Constantinople. So we have Rome over here, we have Constantinople over here. Constantinople, as you can imagine, is named after the famous emperor Constantine. So they created this new capital, this new empire. They split it up, and we see that the western side is going to be the one that suffers the most from those Germanic invasions. So they've collapsed. The Western Roman Empire is the one that collapsed. The Eastern Roman Empire does not collapse, right? This is the Eastern Roman Empire. So 476 BC, 476 CE is the year that we, historians say this is the end of the Roman Empire. But it's not really the end of the Roman Empire. It's the end of the Western Roman Empire, because the Eastern Roman Empire will continue on for a very long time, right? It changes its name though. It becomes known as the Byzantine or the Byzantine Empire. And this Byzantine Empire will last for about 1,000 more years. 1,000 more years. So the Roman Empire, if you want to view it this way, doesn't end in 476 and ends around 1450 with the collapse of the Byzantine Empire. So this is one of the legacies of Rome, of its government, is that it continues. It continues long after the Roman Empire collapses, right? It continues as the Byzantine Empire. Another legacy is its architecture. Right here we see a theater, right? If this was a full circle, this is an amphitheater. If this was a full circle, this would be a stadium or what we call an arena. So Roman architecture, we see it all over the Mediterranean, becomes the popular style. So we see columns, the Greek columns, we see roads, we see temples, right? We see domes. And the point is that the Romans were really, really, really good at engineering, right? They're really, really good at engineering. They're really good at fighting and military. They develop a lot of siege weapons. These are huge weapons designed to break down walls. Because remember, whenever an invading army is coming to attack your city, you're going to run behind the walls and try to hold out. So catapults and battering rams you see here, these are siege towers you'll climb up to go over the walls, right? These things the Romans built using engineering, using science, using math, using knowledge. And the Roman legion becomes the model, right, the standard for organization of militaries for a long, long, long time. Another Roman legacy is its literature. Right, the Romans had a lot of stories and plays, and during this whole Pax Romana time, and these stories are still read. These plays are still read. These poems are still read, even to this day. We also see legacy in the form of language, right? What we call the Romance language. And these are languages that share a common origin in that they all originated from Latin, right? The language of the Romans. So the Romans languages, we have Spanish, French, Italian, Romanian, right? English is not a Romance language. English is actually a Germanic language, even though it's heavily heavily influenced by the French. So we see all these different Romance language, and again, they're not because they're romantic, but because they came from the Romans. And this is what we call the spread of Roman culture is called Romanization, just like the spread of Greek or Hellenistic culture is called Hellenism or Hellenization. Same thing with the Romans. And we see that culture spread throughout the Mediterranean, right, and throughout Western Europe. Latin will remain as the one of the main languages for a very long time. Roman laws, Roman customs, right? Those Germanic people, those invaders, once they settled down and they saw how good the Romans did things and how good the Roman cities and government worked, they adopted those laws, blended it with their own traditional ideas of governments and laws, right? Creating brand new kingdoms, brand new states, brand new, formations. Um, and this occurs in the next time frame or the next time period in world history, what we call the post-classical era. Right? In European history, it's called the Middle Ages or the Dark Ages. So even though the Western Roman Empire is long gone at that point, there's a lot of traditions and legacies that continue in Europe from the Romans. And the main one is Christianity. And throughout Western Europe, Christianity remains dominant as the main religion. So even though, again, the Roman Empire is long gone, the government structure is long gone, the religious structure is still there. Religious authority is still there. Religious popularity is still there. So Christianity is adopted by the Europeans, right? And then again, this is because of the kind of that relationship that the Romans eventually have with the Christians, in that they formally adopt Christianity at one point, even though they had persecuted the Christians for a very long time. So Western Europe is, the Western, Roman Empire will collapse, and it's gonna head its way into the Middle Ages, into the Dark Ages. The Eastern Roman Empire, Eastern Europe, Eastern Mediterranean, right? It will continue as if nothing happened with the Byzantine Empire, and and that's it. That's it for chapter 4. Thank you for watching.